So here are some of the key takeaways for me from, we're gonna put them right here. This is the normal life, and this is the internet life. So here's the three things that normal life will give you without a doubt if you have a job, okay? It's gonna give you structure, a structure that you don't have to create on your own, which is good. Some people, that is the dream, right? You have a structure, people tell you what to do, you gotta climb that ladder. It sounds boring because a lot of people do it, but honestly, for certain people, it's really not that boring, and it's kind of an exciting thing because you can see your steps, right? In this, you have no idea where you're going. You don't know if you're gonna make $0, $100 million. It's inconsistent in a roller coaster, but I like that. Okay, so one, the normal work life gives you structure. Two, it gives you consistency, which kind of goes with number one, but consistency, you have a set amount of pay, you have a set job, you have all of these things that allows your life to be less chaotic. And like I said, that's really good for a lot of people, but not for me. For me, consistent is, well, since I was never able to be consistent in other things, it's like it's exciting, there's some adrenaline to it. I don't know why, I can't explain why I like the other side of it more. But those two things are absolutely to be expected in like a normal work life. You have structure and you have consistency. And lastly, this is gonna sound weird. It's gonna sound like a negative thing, but it's not. But you have limited choices. So what do I mean by limited choices? Since you have that structure and consistency, you work 9 to 5, you eat dinner, you spend time, you have about a 3 to 4 hour window each day where that's the amount of time that outside of your structure, that's the time that you get to choose exactly how you want to spend it. Which is good because you still get that 3 to 4-ish hours where you get to decide what it is that you want to do, whether it's a hobby, whether it's cooking, whether it's watching something. That's you, that is all you. But people would see it as a negative because they're like, I don't have enough time, right? So that's where it becomes a positive on the other side. But so we're gonna start with we're gonna do the same thing on the internet, on YouTube specifically for me. This is what I have, right? Even though I put as many hours as a normal work week, I get to choose when those are. I get to sleep when I want to. I don't have to wake up for somebody. So the first thing is just time, right? I get to choose how long I sleep for, where I sleep, where I go, what I do. That's great. If I want to, I can spend 2 hours today recording a video and then spend the other 12 hours playing video games if I want to. And I've done that, and I probably will do that at some point. Then there will be another day where I play 0 video games and I spend 13 hours making, planning, recording, and editing a video. That will also happen. So I have a lot more freedom of choice because I don't have to abide by some structure, but that's where we come to point number 2 and kind of a downside. This one's gonna sound negative, and it kind of is. Number 2 would be decision overload. So in a given day, you're not given that structure, you're not given that consistency, that exactly sometimes step-by-step plan of what you need to do, and you have all of these decisions floating around. So instead of those decisions being given to you, you have to consciously make all of those decisions and come up with the things you're gonna do, how you're gonna do them, when you're gonna do them, if you're gonna need help, the tools that you might need in order to accomplish said goals. I know I'm being vague, but to give you an idea, sometimes it can be really overwhelming. Decision overload means that you have to make all these decisions. It's all on you. No one else is telling you what to do, and it's overwhelming. And sometimes it'll make somebody just shut down. It's like, okay, there's so many things going on here. What if I just did none of them? And that can happen. That definitely can happen. Number 3, and the final thing that makes YouTube different from regular work life, I'm gonna say freedom, but not freedom in the same way that I talked about number 1. Freedom as in you can express yourself in whatever way that you want to. So what I like about YouTube, even as a business, is it doesn't have to be one thing. And honestly, what's cool though, is as soon as you grow your business on YouTube, you can have multiple things, depending on how you've tied yourself to your business. But the freedom of it is I get to make 3 different videos a week, right? I have one video series where I get to go on an adventure and to pursue something in my green book where I have these different goals and stuff that I wrote down and I get to complete them, and it's very satisfying for me. I love that. I get to pursue an adventure like that all the time. Then on Thursdays, I like to make these little animations where I plan out this animation that can help answer specific questions. about surviving America through the economic turmoil, through inflation, and helping you accomplish specific goals. Like this last week we did travel. And it's small and it's niche, but I like having that out there, putting my thoughts out there to answer specific questions for if somebody has a specific question on YouTube. And then Sundays are also nice because they're more of the chill ones where I just talk about things that are on my mind. Is that better? I've been doing this for 26 days. And I have learned a lot in those 26 days. Some things that work. There is a huge ceiling, just like in any business. And I'm gonna keep referring to this as a business because in my opinion, that's really what this is. It's a different type of business, obviously, because it's more of a creative, free-flowing, literally you can do whatever you want and also be the exception if you want to. But it is a business because you are your own boss. There's a lot of integral parts that every single YouTuber is gonna have to do, like coming up with ideas, a thumbnail title, editing, music, all of these different things. All of those are like the pillars of this business, right? And in normal life, the normal life that you live, you might be satisfied or unsatisfied with the structure that it gives you. You almost might feel like this structure is like encasing you, imprisoning you in this day-to-day routine, and you think that on the other side of it, you have this grass is greener mentality. You're like, wait, but if I just like burst out and I did something different, I did something on my own, I'd be satisfied. You gotta be careful because yes, that is true for some people, but it's not true for everybody. It all became because I knew I wanted to have something different, something that I could express my ideas in the ways that I think, and I wanted to be able to grow something. I've always wanted to do that, and I've done it a couple of times, but I never stayed consistent, I never stayed persistent, and I never treated it like it was important to me. I treated it as if like, you know, I might get lucky and I might do really well with certain things, and that was the wrong mentality. And now I'm treating it differently as like a business. I'm still having a lot of fun. I'm still getting to express my ideas, but I'm also trying to look at it through a different lens. And so that's been nice for me. So the one takeaway I want you to get from this is, yes, these right here, these are the differences between. But my biggest advice for you in regular work life and YouTube work life, and what I'm still working on now, it's not something that I've just figured out, I don't have all the answers hidden in my back pocket, is that you need to figure out who you are. I'm trying to figure out who I am just as much as anybody else, right? I try to speak a little bit more confidently because I feel like I have some stuff figured out, but altogether it's a never-ending battle. I mean, between my religious life, my YouTube life, my friends and family life, it is, I try to be consistent and all the same, right? But it's hard to do that sometimes. Like, that's just being genuine. So these are the 3 differences between regular life and YouTube. I hope this helped. I want you to be able to figure out who you are, right? Because that's gonna help you along this crazy life path, right? Whether it is that you wanna do regular work or you want to do YouTube, or maybe you wanna do somewhere in the middle and do both, right? Have your little part-time thing, but you still have that structure of life. Life will get a little bit busier for you, and sometimes you're not gonna always do it, but it's never a bad time to start if it's something you wanna do. And it's not always a bad thing to quit, because maybe it's not something that you want for yourself. Maybe it's not something that is that path for you, and that's okay, but you need to keep that mentality. So my big takeaway for today is these are the differences. Work on finding yourself, and the one tip I'll give to finding yourself is spend some time with yourself. Kind of like, even if you aren't religious, just spending some time by yourself, figuring out your tendencies, thinking about why you feel certain ways, why you get upset in this situation, why you're feeling sad about this, and to not just to feel it, but to think about why you feel it. And then you can kind of break down some things. So it's like it's like a self-therapy, I guess. So like whenever I feel really happy about something, it's like, man, why do I feel so happy about this? Or why do I feel sad or angry? And I try to embrace those emotions because, you know, that's something that we don't do. We don't embrace emotions. We use distractions. We use just ways to forget and to shove down those emotions deeper. And then we get even more confused about who we are. So I know I got a little bit preachy on the end, but that's the main things that I think are the difference, and some things that I think can help you move forward. They're helping me so far, so I hope you can use it too. Thanks, and I will see you on Tuesday. Come here, Mika, say bye. She was comfortable and she didn't want to move her.